Boy Ryan, aka Fattboy the Chef, aka your favorite chef, kicking it with my girl Jigga Jenna on the All Day Podcast. You heard me? Holla at me.
Mic check. What's cracking? What's popping? It's your host from the West Coast, Jenna, aka J All Day, and I'm with special guest
Ronald, aka Fattboy, aka your favorite chef. You know?
Listen, we came in his house. We came to him. This is my very first podcast mobile episode, so I feel like really good about this. I'm happy, especially when it's related to food. It's related with love and good people. We walked in and they showered us. Him and his wife showered us with all this food. It's not vegan, so all you vegan heads that rock with me, don't get on my line, okay? I gotta try this food. Made us a cake. Made us a whole bunch of stuff we're gonna get into. We're gonna get into everything about you and what you do with your business. But first, we gotta get to the snacks. So, new snack alert. Okay, how do you feel about Chick-Fil-A?
It's okay.
It's all right.
It's all right.
I mean, you're a chef, so you're gonna be
It's all right, you know.
hard connoisseur over there. Well, the best thing about Chick-Fil-A, in my opinion, is Polynesian sauce and then the Chick-Fil-A sauce, right?
Yeah.
Now I could just like whatever the chicken fucking I've had better chicken. Let's
Right,
be real.
right,
you
right.
Had,
I mean,
you probably make better chicken. Let's be real.
Right.
But the sauce is like really what the business is,
Man,
right?
I love the sauce. And when I do go there,
Yeah.
that's when I make sure I need
You
at least
have
2 or
to.
3 of those.
Hell
each
yeah.
one of them, you know?
And then you mix
with
them
the
all
waffle
up.
fries. I like it
top.
with the waffle fries better than the chicken.
Me too.
You know
I'm
what
all
saying?
for the sauces. Well, they're actually selling bottles of the poly sauce and the Chick-fil-A sauce at Target, Walmart starting next month.
Wow.
But it's only in Florida. You want to know why? Because they don't got Chick-fil-A's in Florida.
That's crazy. They don't have it in Florida, so why would they have it in Florida?
Because they want people to know about it and want to use it. Now, this is the best part about this Chick-fil-A sauce is that all of the proceeds that they make with the bottles of sauce actually goes to their employee student scholarship funds.
Oh, okay,
all
cool,
of the
cool,
proceeds.
cool.
So I thought that was really dope.
That is.
And then I was like, who do I know in Florida that could send me a bottle? So I don't think it's going to be that hard to get. Amazon.
Yeah, right. Amazon. Yeah, we'll have it. We'll have it.
So we'll figure it out.
Most definitely.
But yeah, pick it up. Tag me if you eat it, if you try it. I'm assuming it's the same exact thing. And I heard that Walmart has a knockoff brand
of the Polynesian
Yeah,
sauce?
I didn't know that either.
Me either.
So I'll let you know when I
well,
find it.
I'm so used to making my own sauces sometimes with certain things.
Yeah, you're right. You don't need it.
Nah.
I'll just take your
I'm
sauces.
gonna check it out. I'm gonna check it out and
sauces
see
too.
what happens. I'll check it out, you know.
And that's the new snack alert. Okay, let's get to stuff that really matters. First of all, you go by Ron, aka Fattboy.
Fattboy, yeah.
I don't know you well enough yet, so I feel like I can't call you a nickname.
Call me Fattboy.
But after when you made all this
Fat
food,
boy.
I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna call you Fattboy.
You have to, you know. Yeah, you have to.
So talk to me about your catering business. What does it entail? What kind of food do you do?
Well, it's strictly New Orleans cuisine, Southern, cuisine, stuff like that. But more than anything, it's more of a New Orleans thing because every time I'm meeting people, and people always, when I let them know where I'm from, they're like, "Oh, I love y'all food, this, that," So I felt like coming here was kind of like, let me try something out here.
Yeah, there's no New Orleans food out here
At all.
You can barely find really good soul food in Washington. Now, there's some spots that I found that I'm like, all right, dope. Like, I found, like, my catfish spot. I found a couple wing spots. But, when you find that, like, real authentic grits and shrimp and, like, stuff like that, like, I miss that from home. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I want to go to New Orleans because of the food. Like, that's the main reason. You know what I mean?
You gain weight, you go there. You'll gain a bunch of weight.
It's
going to
okay.
New
It's
Orleans,
totally worth it, though.
Right,
and that's where you're originally from, right?
From New Orleans, uptown, Third Walk. You know what I'm saying? Washington Avenue, Tyler Downer, First and Roman, Third and Galvez, everything in between,
When you first moved out here, did you already have in your mind, did Fattboy Catering
Well,
come with you?
believe it or not, we stayed in Atlanta for a few years, quite a few years, living in Atlanta and cooking for parties and stuff like that. I used to work for companies for Sears and started there with potlucks and stuff.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, I was selling plates on the weekends inside of Sears. So it was pretty cool, but I never thought about it until I got here. And one day I happened to be in the Culture Barber Studio. And the guy kept watching the guy that owned the place, God bless his soul, old Lex. He was like, "Man, I know your face from somewhere." And I'm like, Yeah. I said, probably Instagram.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, you Fattboy. I'm like, yeah. He said, man, most of that dish was that you cooked. And I was like, well, it was pasta, I think with mussels and shrimps and all that.
Yeah.
So I'm sitting there, we talking, and when he finished with his customer paid him, and he walked up to me. He said, I want that. He gave me the money. He said, I want that same food that I seen on there. Can you do it for me? I'm like, well, yeah, most definitely. I got you. Came home, did it, and from there, it just
was a wrap.
It was like he was letting his people know, and everybody was hitting me up. So it was like a domino effect.
Hell yeah.
Him, his people that worked in his shop, people that knew him, his followers. A lot of his followers started following me.
Yeah.
And everybody be like, yo, Fattboy, can you do this? Can you do this? Can you do that? And I'm like, yeah, I can do whatever. Let me know.
Food word travels faster than any other word.
Man.
If you know some good ass food, you're gonna tell somebody who tells somebody, and just like you said, next thing you know, you got a whole business.
Right, you do. You do, you know, so.
So catering came after New Orleans.
Yeah, it came. Well, believe it or not, I did some cooking in New Orleans. You know, cooking and hitting and missing with things, selling plates and what we call suppers back home. So doing that, you know, but I never thought I was gonna like really get into it. It was just something to pass by time, you know, just to do it, you know. But
well, you're good at cooking. It probably.
I think I got better and better as long as you know. After I was getting into it more and more, I felt like I started getting better and better, you know.
That's how you do it.
Before you know it, because as a kid, you know, watching moms cook, I can remember leaving from outside, mom started cooking. I'm sitting on the side of the stove watching her do what she do, so I caught on to it quick, you know.
Yeah.
But I didn't really get into it till like I was about maybe 20, 21.
Okay.
I'm 41 now, so 2021,
so
I got into it
for a good
for a long
20
time.
years, over 20 years.
Got it in
So you learned all your skills from your mom?
From my mom.
Do you have any like recipes that are just hand?
Believe it or not,
recipe
when people ask me for a recipe, it's always like I don't know what to tell them because when I cook, I don't sit there and do this and do that. I don't do measurements. I just throw stuff in there and I'm tasting as I go and I'm like, all right, that's it there.
You know how
and I know if I like it, everybody else
someone else is gonna like it. That's how I feel too. When I be making food, like a lot of things that I love to make take a lot of time. So like pastas, like sauces, right? I like sauces and soups and gravies or things like that where it's like you gotta kind of maneuver things to like make it taste good. And so when I like make certain pasta sauces or chilies or soups, people are always like, yo, can I get your recipe? And I have to tell them like, I'm no lie, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I don't have anything to give you. Like this is what I used. Right. Now go ahead.
And that's what I do. Well, I have so many people inboxing me and I'm like, well, I use this.
But I don't know
how you do it. I don't know. This is the ingredients. I can give you ingredients, but telling you how to go step to step. And then everybody be like, well, you need to do a YouTube channel. And this,
it's so hard though.
Right. You know, so I'm like, I don't know if I want to do all that. You know, I'm just loving doing what I'm doing. You know?
For me, it would take out a lot of the fun too. If I had to keep track of all my measurements and what I was doing, because my ass would forget, and I'd be like, oh fuck, I forgot I put cayenne in it, and I didn't put it on the recipe.
Because with my sauces, I could go from using like a heavy cream, regular milk, canned milk. I could do a roux. Yeah. However, sauces, I mean, I'm good at all of them, you know. So.
Do you think that it takes a special person to cook really good food? Or do you think anybody can learn?
Anybody can learn, but you have to have the passion for it.
Yeah.
You know, with me, it's more of a passion thing.
I agree with that. I think that, you know, we watch, my boyfriend and I, a lot of cooking shows.
Me and my wife does.
Yeah, like Master Chef or Tasting or Diners, Drive-Ins. Just
that's what
fun,
our favorite was.
And, you know, we were watching somebody the other day, and they couldn't cook, like, some mac and cheese or something. It was like something like out of a box, or it was like a grilled cheese or something simple in a sense, right? And they fucked it all up. And he was like, how could you mess that up?
Right.
And I told him, I said, you know what? Sometimes people just don't get it.
You know what was crazy? My very first thing I cooked was a box of mac and cheese.
Yeah, correct.
I messed it up.
Because you didn't read the measurements.
I did. I just threw it dumped it out the pot, not knowing I let the water boil first. Yeah. Then you add your pasta. Right. I was just throwing everything in there, waited for it. It was so mushy. Yeah. And I said, oh, I don't know.
That doesn't look like the box.
At all. At all.
Yeah, I think that it does take a special person. It's like chemistry. You know what I'm saying? When you start to really get involved in food and adding sugar when it's too bitter or add for the acidity, people don't realize that. Like, you know, people don't realize that a lot of things that we eat, they put brown sugar in it.
Right,
They put maple syrup or agave, and they're like, "Oh, that doesn't have sugar in it." I'm like, "Yes, it do."
It does. Yes,
so
it does.
it's really dope to. I think food is cool because you can make it any way that you want.
You can.
You
Let
know?
me ask you this:
Yeah.
Do you put sugar in your spaghetti?
So
your meat sauce?
that's a very Filipino thing. Actually, I have never put.
Come on, yeah.
The only time I put any type of sugar in my meat sauces, well, my meat sauces for my pasta, I'll put agave in there now.
Agave,
just because I try to be as healthy as I possibly can. But I'll put sugar in like different things that I make a little bit too acidic. I'm a big like lemon, citrus. All my flavor profiles are really Latin. So for me, it's like I love spicy, I love sour, and I realize that all different cultures of food, whether it be Asian or Filipino, it all comes back to Mexican flavors. You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to my Mexicans and my Latinos, because they've been showing me so much love out here.
Hey,
they show me so much love out here. I love them,
And people will give love to people that are good at their crafts and that are good people. You know what I mean? And you seem to have both of those qualities.
I sure do.
So how is it moving out here from New Orleans to Washington? I mean, it's like day and night, right?
Yeah, it is. I mean, laid back. It's laid back.
Here in Washington?
It's laid back here. I think it is.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm loving it. I mean, we discussed it. Me and my wife discussed it before we made that move, because I knew some people out here that moved out here during the Hurricane Katrina in New Orleans. People that came out here. Then I had a little partner that was living out here for a while, and he moved from out here right before we moved out here. And he was telling me how good everything was, how the money was, and all that good stuff. Yeah. And when my wife been in the position she was in, I felt like, you know what? Let's try something different. I mean, the job you do, I feel like you can make the money. I mean, why not go somewhere and make the money? Yeah. And get paid for it, and just see how it goes.
And so you originally moved out here because of a job for your wife?
For my wife, yeah.
Okay. And then just kind of like been out here ever since?
We just been out here. We said, see, we're going to give it a year. We made that year. Yeah. I see, shit, let's do it. Let's give it another year, see what happens. Yeah. So, I mean, we've been loving it, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we get out from time to time, I work I wound up getting a part-time job at the Burlington, so I was able to start meeting more and more people. Yeah. So, I mean, it was love. It's all love out there.
You got to just start selling plates. I know a chef back home in Oakland that's how he pretty much started. After the clubs, people be lined up for his plates, and now he's got his own little restaurant. People be lined up every day, and he sells out almost every day.
Most definitely.
And
I have, believe it or not, I have a nice little fan base of people that I cook for. Yeah. And they come, I'll cook it for them. They'll come here, pick it up, stuff like that. So I have a nice little fan base of people that come out, and I cook for them whatever they want. I mean, whatever it is they wanted, I got it. But majority, anybody that follows me on Instagram, a lot of time when I'm cooking food, it's always for somebody. Yeah. It's for somebody. When I post it on the Fattboy catering page. So every time I'm cooking, it's not for the house. It's always for somebody. It just so happened when I cook it, I'm able to get some of it because I cook it.
Yeah, because, you got to make a little extra.
Right. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean, like I say, the Latin, the Mexican, they show me a lot of love out here,
So when you do family nights, family cooking, when it's just a normal, Wednesday, and you're gonna make dinner, who makes dinner? You or your wife?
I do.
You do still?
I do. She might mess around with the little simple stuff every now and then, but when we want something good, or we just have a taste for something, she be like, well, what are you cooking today? Yeah. And then if I ask her or my daughter, I have a 9-year-old, be like, what y'all eating tonight? It don't matter, and I hate that. It don't matter. Whatever you want.
That's the hardest question, especially for us women.
Oh, like, man.
Y'all may go
my
through
wife
it.
give me I'm like, Jesus. Then what you want? I'm like, it don't matter what I want. Right.
Well, sometimes we need to hear what you feel like, because then maybe it might spark some inspiration of what we feel like. Right. You know what I'm saying? We just want everybody to be happy.
But my family, my wife and my daughter, they love spaghetti. If I cook spaghetti and meat sauce every night, they'll eat it every night.
Yeah, I can do pasta every night.
Mac and cheese, they would do it every night. Now, what I love that my wife do, even though I do fish, I like a lot of the baked pan-seared fish. But I love when my wife fry the fish. Oh, man, I'd be like, what did you do? She's like, nothing. I
mean, I just
meat and my frying skills. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, for now on, you do all the frying. You fry all the fish. That's it, you know. So
I love fried fish.
oh man,
you can't get much better than a good fried fish and a good collard green.
Oh man,
because people mess up collard greens
all
so bad, and you eat it and it's like just bitterness in your mouth, and they don't understand that it takes a while to do. You gotta cook them things down.
Right, because I look at some of these greens and I be like they took the grass straight from off the ground and just
straight up.
In the pot.
Like
you gotta let that stuff cook down. I need to saute my meat, my smoked meats. Now it is a little different coming out here with the food stuff because we use a lot of the pickled pigtails, pig tips, and all that stuff down south. But up here you have to. But living in Georgia kind of put us on a little bit, so we started using like all the smoked meat and stuff like that. So since I've been out here, you know, I try to find little smoked meat pieces, and we do that. And once I do that, I'm good. You know?
Yeah, that's dope.
I love greens, candy yams,
yep,
real like not out the can. You go buy you the fresh one, cut them up, do what you gotta do. Cornbread, either fried pork chops or fried chicken.
Yeah, I also realized a good rib is hard to come by too.
You ever had the fried ribs?
No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna do that for y'all. Man, y'all never had the fried ribs?
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
But that sounds really great.
Man, fried ribs? Oh, but see,
so you still put the barbecue sauce on it?
Oh, I love anything. Anytime I do barbecue, that's what it's called, barbecue. Yeah. I hate it in Georgia when you pull up on a person on the side of the road doing barbecue and they don't have no sauce. I said, well, it's not barbecue. No. You just smoked meat. That's smoked meat.
That's the other thing. I don't know if you're a sweet fan of barbecue, but like for me, the barbecue sauce is everything.
Oh, that's
and you can't have it too sweet or it's like, it's just too candied. I want like a spicy, sweet sauce.
Right. If you're doing it from scratch, you always have to put that balance between vinegar and stuff like that with the brown sugar. And I'm more of a honey person, so I like the honey.
Me too. I'll put honey all over in my barbecue
all
sauce.
Depends on what type of barbecue I'm eating. If I want it sweet, that's sweet, but spicy, because I'm a big spice person.
Me
but
too.
I can have that sweet, but it gotta have a little spice, a little kick to it. You know? So yeah, most definitely.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I gotta do fried ribs for you.
I didn't even think about it.
You're not that far from it. Well, I know whenever you're ready for that cheat time again, y'all let me know.
Got you.
And I mean, you could do the rib. I do the spare ribs. I do the riblets. However you want it. And when I do fried ribs, I like to make a dipping sauce.
Ooh.
You know, it could be like a honey mustard, or regular. Because I like to do all my own sauce from scratch with some ketchup, this, that, and the third, stuff like that.
So. I love all that shit. Yeah. He asked me when I told him, because I didn't want to make him feel like he needed to cook me food being on the podcast. But I'm like, I'm sure he wants to showcase his food because that's what it's about.
Believe it or not, I didn't like from the time you hit, because like when I saw it, I'm like, wow, Jenna hit me up?
Huh?
I told my wife, so I wake my wife. I said, man, Jess hit me up. She's like, who? I'm like, Jenna. She's like, who's Jenna? I said, from the radio station, Jigga Jenna. You know, and she was like, yeah. I'm like, wow. I said, well, somebody see me. And I'm a big person on that. Like, me having my page, I've been having my page a little, like, over a year now. Yeah. And it's not so much about the following, who follow me, who don't follow me. It's just more who's going to see me.
Who recognizes it,
I mean, it was a pleasure. I mean, I felt good when I saw it. You're a celebrity, you know. You're like my Seattle. You're like one of the Seattle celebrities.
I appreciate that.
Been on the radio station. I mean, like I say, listening to you the beginnings of the morning, because bringing her to work, my wife back and forth to work. Yeah. We loved the little stories with the people trying to hook up.
Oh yeah, this little segment.
Yeah. So you know, stuff like that. And then I didn't even know what had took place with that, but when it was like, Jenna's not gonna be on the station no more. I'm like, oh shit, Jenna. And like you were like the life of the party. Like you was the life. I mean, we listened to you with the dog situation and stuff like that.
I know. I shared my whole entire life.
You did. And I was loving. We was loving that. Me and my wife loved that. And I'm not only saying this because you're here now. We don't even listen to that radio station.
I appreciate you.
I scream all my music now.
Well, you got a podcast to listen to.
Right. You know and I listen to you now. I got into your podcast once I saw you was doing it. I started getting into it at nighttime when I lay down and I put it on. I watched quite a few of them from me and the guy, the photographer guy. We done hooked up, so
good.
He wanted to get at me the night I was leaving out to go to Mardi Gras to New Orleans from Mardi. He was like, man, I need to get some food. I'm gonna be working. I said, oh man. I said I'm gonna be heading out soon. He was like, well, look, when you get back, let me know what's going on. So
that's my whole plan with this podcast is that people that don't get recognized, and they should.
Right.
You know, and I love people that, you know, they're not constantly, it's like, I don't know, it's just a feeling you get. And I don't know if I can even explain it because it's kind of unexplainable. But there's a difference between being really about your craft and really trying to get it out there and appropriately hitting people up. And then there's a difference of just being thirsty.
Right.
And I look at people, you know, I also look at people that support me. You be liking my photos. You follow me. You know what I mean? Like, there's things like that where it doesn't seem a lot, but it is to me.
Right.
Because now I don't feel like I'm being used.
Right.
And this is it's a partnership. Every time I do a podcast with somebody, it's a partnership.
Right.
And if I do a podcast with you, it's because I believe in you and what you do.
Most definitely.
And that's just really what it comes down to. It's real black and white with me.
And I was loving it when you hit me up. I mean, I was excited. I didn't tell nobody. I was like, I'm not going to tell nobody right now because I know things fall through sometimes. I'm like, I'm not telling nobody. I'm like, and then the other day, like, I told my mom, I said, I don't really want to tell nobody what's going on. I said, but I don't know if you listen to the radio station. I said, Jenna gonna holler at me. She wanted to be on the podcast. And she was like, yeah. I said, see, you never know who's watching.
You never know. You really never know.
I was excited.
And I hope that people, when they hear this, because I know that people that fuck with me, they are like me in a sense. They relate to me, and that's why they mess with me. And if it's not food, it's animals, or it's the way that I move, it's personality wise. But most people that I know and that I fuck with tough, they're foodies.
Yeah.
I hate to use that word because I think that word's super stupid.
No, foodies is one of the things, you know, that when I put hashtag no foodie, hashtag Seattle foodie. So you know, I mean, hey, foodies, you know.
So I'm hoping that, you know what I mean, especially like Linwood, it's a pretty central area. Like a lot of people I know live in the north. Like, hit them up. Like, just fucking get a plate. You know what I'm saying? If you have a kid's birthday party, if you got a birthday party or something, you're trying to get some New Orleans food, like, why not? You can't get in a restaurant.
You know?
And people out here, I just feel like they overcharge so much for nothing.
Right.
And I'm tired of eating food and it being just garbage. And I leave spending $100. Like, what did I just do? Why did I just eat that food?
Like, if I charge somebody $25 for a plate, best believe you and somebody else could eat. Yeah. Or you could eat some of that then and eat some of it later. You know?
Yeah, you're gonna
I always give you enough. I get tired of seeing people when they plate their food up, they put a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Get rid of that shit.
Yeah.
Let it go.
That's what I'm saying.
Feed people, because I always felt like the quantity and quality is my thing.
You want to have your customers leave satisfied and full. So they want to come back and eat more. To me, if you're going to have a good restaurant and a good place, and I guess it depends on the restaurant, but for soul food and food that comes from the heart, you want to feel like you're going to your grandmother's house or your mother's house. And you're going to get that full meal. And then you're going to want to go back next Sunday because that's what you do. You know what I mean? I think that's important.
It really is. It really is.
So let's kind of talk about, you're an entrepreneur. And I don't know if it's very clear, but you're also in a wheelchair.
Most definitely. Wheelchair lifestyle.
I think that is something to be talked about because I think that there's a lot of people that they face a lot of adversities and then they just stop.
Most definitely do.
So we'll get as personal as you want to get.
Ask me whatever.
But how long have you been in a wheelchair?
I've been in this chair now a little 15 years now.
Okay.
You know, over 15 years. Because I got shot when I was 26.
And that's how it happened.
Yeah.
So where did you get shot at?
Twice in my back and once in the stomach.
So it hit spinal cord?
Believe it or not, it was a hair fracture to the spinal cord. It was crazy, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because the first two shots that hit me in the back, I didn't even know I was shot.
Really?
I didn't know I was shot.
Well, adrenaline, or you?
I think what it was. I think it had to be that. And when I turned around, and it was crazy because it was somebody I knew.
That's always like that.
It was somebody I knew. We had been knowing each other for over 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Considered him a friend.
Yeah, you know, a home, like a big home, because I was 26 at the time. He was like 37, 30, something like that at the time he shot me. So he was like a big homie. You know what I'm saying? And got into an argument. You know. We argued, you know what I'm saying? I walked by, I said, man, look, I ain't got time for this. You know? And at the time, I had my son in the car with me. At the time, my son was 5. So my son saw everything that took place. He saw everything, you know? So it messed me up because it was one thing, it was somebody I knew.
Right.
You know?
Well, that's always the worst. Like, your friends, when they become foes.
It was crazy, you know what I'm saying? I mean, and I didn't know I had so much, I had so many people envy me for the things that I did, but
Yeah.
I always been the type of person that worked. You know,
Yeah.
I always worked. I always had nice things. I always, you know,
Yeah,
I
you
guess
just made
everybody
sure that
looks
you
to
always
me.
had your shit.
Yeah, so you know everybody, and it was crazy that one of my barbers, you know what I'm saying, he's no longer with us, but he, you know, he used to come to my house and cut my hair, and he was like, man, I didn't know so many people envied you. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yeah, for what? I mean, they only knew I struggled to have the stuff that I had. Yeah, I had nice cars and this, that. I had an apartment, but you know, nice places, townhomes and stuff like that. But I struggled to do that because at that time, I was married, had my 2 kids, you know, plus had a kid on the outside, that our oldest kid that I was paying child support for. So I was struggling trying to, you know, make ends meet, do what I had to do, hustle here and there, you know what I'm saying? So that's what it was.
Yeah.
You know.
So after you were shot and then you woke up, how was that? How did you even take that in?
It was crazy because when I woke up, I already knew I was paralyzed.
You felt it. You couldn't feel your
Believe it or not, when people say they have out-of-body experience, you really do have that. Because I seen myself land on that bed, on that stretcher, you know?
Yeah.
I saw I had a moment when I left the hospital, I guess in spirit. I went to the house, looked around the house, made sure everything was good at the house at the time. But it was crazy because when I woke up, I already knew I was paralyzed.
Yeah.
You
just had a feeling.
And what was crazy, the only thing that went through my mind when I was paralyzed, and it's crazy to see, it wasn't about nothing else. It was just like, I'm going to have sex now. That was like the big thing. I was like, shit, I see, man, I can't do what I used to do. And it was crazy. And I'm like, how I'm supposed to have sex now?
Right.
You know, and, you know, I went through it. I spent like 3 months in the hospital because I got shot. It was in May. It was at the end of May. So I spent like 3 months in the hospital, from the hospital to rehab. Yeah. And everything, every day on my mind, it was always like, I'm going to have sex.
Yeah, fuck all this walking shit.
Right.
Like, how the fuck am I supposed to get it?
Yeah, how am I supposed to get this? And it was crazy. So like, leading up when they brought me to a point for rehab, is a point called transition. Yeah. When you do your OT, occupational, and your physical therapy, and they told me the only way you're gonna go home, you have to do this, do that, do that. And man, I was in there every day because I went through it for a while, you know what I'm saying? I went through like a real depression at that time.
I was gonna ask that, had it been real hard on your mental, right?
Yeah, it was.
Like I think for a lot of people that I know that have endured situations like this, it's like they're like, yeah, physical, that was hard, but mental was way harder.
Oh, it was. I mean, I can remember with two of my oldest kids, I can remember putting them to bed at nighttime. Yeah. And we'll go in the living room and just sit there and just cry, like, and I used to be one of the ones that asked God, like, why me, man? Like, what did I do?
Right,
you know? Like, you know, people say you're not supposed to, but I mean, I was like, why me? Like,
we all do that.
Why this had to happen to me? Like, and I felt like I lost touch with my kids for a while. Yeah. Because I couldn't do the things that I wanted to do with them. Like, I had a son, you know, and, you know, they was always under me, and I felt like I just lost, you know, with me going through what I went through, I just lost that kind of like that mental with them, you know, that connection with them. Yeah. And I went through it for a while. I mean, oh man, I went through it for a while, you know. When I met my wife, I was, you know, I had friends, females, and most of the females that I talked to, it was just to make me feel good.
Right.
Just to say, well, I still had it, you know what I'm saying? But when I met my wife, we was friends before anything. We used to talk every night. We used to always talk on the phone and chat it up, you know, and just be, you know, talking about stuff and you know, what I loved about it, she never asked me nothing about, you know, she knew I was in the chair, but she never like questioned, like, because like the number one question, being in a wheelchair, can you still have sex? Yeah. Can you still work?
Which you're already tripping off of that.
Right.
So you're like, bitch.
Right.
No, I get it.
Right, you know, so when I met my wife, it was like, man, she don't worry about that stuff. It was like, wow. But then, you know, my wife is much younger than me. You know what I'm saying? So I said, well, damn, I got this beautiful young wife. Well, at the time, a girlfriend, you know what I mean? Like, shit, I see, she's young. She might want to have it all the time. So I got to figure out these things I got to do. So I started going to the doctor. I started finding out about the pump, the pills, everything. So
I love it,
like,
though.
I got to get right for this. A young woman, I got to have her, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay, let her go nowhere.
Well, it obviously worked because y'all have a kid, right?
Most
so
definitely.
That's the end of the story. We won't get too much more into that in the details, but just know it all worked out.
She held me down, and believe it or not, I still went through it. Even when me and her got together, I still went through it. But
I'm sure you still have your days now where it's like,
and I still do.
You know?
I still do sometimes because it's like, you know, I went through a lot of stuff with myself, with you know, with things, you know, and it get there sometimes. You know?
I mean,
it gets there.
Even somebody, everyone goes through their problems. Mm-hmm. It's just different ones. Mm-hmm. And I think that, you know, you had mentioned your kids and how they kind of looked up to you, and how you, in your head it's like, I'm not going to be able to be the dad that I wanted to be to them for them. But I think you're completely wrong with that, and I hope that you see it now.
Well, no,
later on.
I really do.
But I think that you show them more fight and more, you know, respect with your situation that you have now.
Right.
I mean, for me, if I see somebody that, there's a lot of people in your situation that could have been, you know what, fuck that. I'm not going to do this shit no more. God doesn't care about me. I didn't deserve this, and be mad about it. And completely ruin everything that they have going for them. I think that you didn't do that. And all I can do is really salute you for that, because I think it takes a lot. You know, it takes a lot for people just to wake up in the morning. And if you have an issue where you can't put your 2 feet on the ground and walk away, then that makes, I feel like, it even harder for people sometimes. But you know, you are a great example of, you got your mind set to something. You can find the love of your life. You know, she's sitting in the kitchen right now. You can't see her on the camera, but you know, like, there's all these positive things that might have not happened if you wasn't in that thing. Do you think about that?
Right. I think it was crazy. Excuse me. I think I'm more in tune with life now that I'm in this chair than when I was walking, because I felt like when I was walking, I got into too much of stuff.
You might take advantage of things.
Take advantage of it, but sitting here more now and doing now, you know, I'm more like, you know what? I think, you know, life is been treating me a whole lot better now. You know.
Would you go as far as saying that you might be a better person now?
I am.
And that speaks volumes.
I really am. I really am a whole lot better than what I was. You know? Because I was like that, yeah, with that, yeah. You know what I'm saying?
You talking to the right
same person. I mean, I was like, you know. And my wife asked me that sometimes. She said, "You think you would treat me the same way you treated me if you was walking in?" I said, "Yeah," because when I got with her, man, she was like, man, I was like. At the beginning, I was like, I want you, but you know, I have my friends, you know what I'm saying, and you know, I want you. It's almost like I wanted her to just be there, you know.
Well, like a lot of men, they want their women to be around for when they want them around, but then they want to have a single life as well, and that shit don't work with a real woman.
And one day she got me because something went down, and I came into the house because I always sat outside, and I always had everybody around me, females, everybody around me. And one day I went inside, and she was in her feelings, and that was the first time we ever got into it at that time, and I saw her do some shit like this, like talking to me, and I'm trying to roll away, and she grabbed my wheelchair and bring me back. I said, man, you playing on? I said, what you doing? You tripping, man.
She hit that emergency brake on your ass real quick.
I'm trying to roll off, she'll pull me back. She's like, you gonna hear what I have to say? And I'm like, man, you tripping. I said, calm down, you know what I'm saying? I said, calm down.
I like her even more now.
And she kept saying, no, you gonna listen to me. And and I love when, even though she haven't, I haven't made her mad in a while, but I love when she hit that hand on me. Like, you gonna listen, I'm like, oh, this shit. That's when I knew I done fucked up, you know what I'm saying? Because she hit me with the hand, I was like, shit. I mean, she did not let me roll away. She kept pulling me back. And I knew I had something solid, you know what I'm saying? I knew, because even though all the stuff that I was doing and she knew what I was doing, she never gave up on me. She still had my back, you know what I'm saying? And, you know, it was just crazy. But, I mean, I was loving her from the beginning, you know? I remember giving her, like, ultimatum. You know what I'm saying? That right? Yeah. And because we'd always be talking, and I was like, you know, I'm so tired of talking to you about these lame ass cats you be talking to. I said, you gonna be for me? That's what it is. I don't want to be no more friends. I want you to be mine. And she was like, yeah, she said, check you out. I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be what it's gonna be, and that's what it is.
Well, here's the secret for you. For men that we really do want to be with, that's not a very hard ultimatum. We've been waiting for you to do that shit. Right. But you know, a loyal woman is very hard to come by, and you never want a loyal woman to get fed up. Because you can't find a lot of them. Just like it's hard to find a loyal man. And loyal people, loyal friends.
Simple. I mean, it really is.
Shit, I can't even fill my whole hand with friends that I have. You know what I'm saying? And my mom, she spit that game to me when I was a little kid. So she used to always tell me, you know, it's quality over quantity of friends, Jenna.
Right.
And when you see people that have a whole bunch of friends, those are not the people that you want to be affiliated with. I'm going to tell you that right now.
At all.
So I'm very careful of who I call friends, who are my acquaintances.
Right.
Because when I call you a friend, that means that I have expectations for your life.
Right, most definitely.
And if you don't follow that, because I'm a good friend.
Right.
So, you know, I think those characteristics, and when you find a person that you can live your life with romantically, and they fit those characteristics, like, it means a lot.
Most definitely.
And it makes you better. You know what I mean? I'm sure that she makes you better, and you make her better. You know?
Most definitely. She makes me a whole lot better, you know?
Yeah.
You know, and that's why I love her so much, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
That's dope. Okay, so before I get into the outro questions, okay, I want to just tell the podcast people, because we're going to do a little bit, YouTube is going to be a little bit different. So if you actually want to see his food on this one, you want to go to the YouTube channel. My YouTube channel is JAllDay87. So if you have any problems finding it, let me know, hit me up on Instagram. But tell us, run from one side of the table to the next.
All right, well, over here, I have what you call crawfish bread.
Okay, crawfish bread.
Crawfish bread with, I think I use like three different cheeses for it. That's the crawfish bread there. The next one is a shrimp spinach dip. Okay. You know, with this cake here, like one of our best selling cakes here. I mean,
it's a bun cake, which I love.
With tequila glaze on it.
Yeah.
Real tequila, nothing cooked down.
They got a whole shot, a little mini shot.
Right. Also, I did what we call back home a seafood burrow. You know, you have the broccoli, corn, sausage, shrimp, and stuff like that. You can pop it off. Most definitely.
So good.
Yeah.
Ooh, and crawfish.
So, well, I got the shrimp. I didn't do the crawfish. I did the shrimp
that's
for
it. That's shrimp with the head on.
Yeah, shrimp with the head on.
Oh my God, that smells so good.
I wanted to do that for you. You know, do something for you to let you see what it's hitting for. You heard me?
I'm so excited.
Let you know what it's hitting for.
Let everybody know. Actually, let's do your outro questions first, and then we'll get to your Instagrams and all that.
Most definitely.
So, first thing you do when you wake up.
Thank God.
I love that. Favorite cereal?
Fruity Pebbles.
He knew it off top, but
Pebbles.
Have you seen that they have a Pop-Tart Fruity Pebbles? Oh, sorry, not Fruit Loops. That's right. Fruity Pebbles is my shit though too.
Yeah, I love Fruity Pebbles, man. I love them.
I do too.
Put that milk in the freezer, let it get a little ice on it.
Oh my God, I love icy milk.
Oh, love it.
One thing someone would be really surprised to know about you.
That I'm that nigga.
Would they be surprised though?
They'll be surprised of, you know, what I could do. You know, people look at me. I mean, because being out and about, and like I said, I do work.
Yeah.
So a lot of times when people see me out and about and at work, they always like, I get so many older people like, I'm so proud of you, this, that, and the third. I have people that I know, they always say, you know, stuff like that. They always give me props on doing what I do. Because a lot of people look at me and think I don't do nothing.
Right.
Probably just think I just sit around and not do nothing.
Yeah.
But I'm that dude. I'm that yeah with the yeah. You know?
I like that.
You know?
I like that. Proudest moment?
I have two.
Okay.
When my kids were born and my wife, meeting my wife.
I love that. I love both of that. What is your favorite thing to cook?
My favorite thing to cook? Oh man,
stuffed bell peppers.
Like my favorite dish is like stuffed bell peppers, big macaroni and cheese, and a honey ham.
Yeah.
You know, with the peas and all that good stuff.
Yeah.
That's my favorite thing to cook.
Most hated house chore?
Believe it or not, I don't have one.
Really?
I do it.
All of them?
Like I spoiled my wife when we first got together because I did everything.
Yeah.
Like I don't really have a chore that I don't like. I mean, I would wash the clothes, I would sweep, mop the floor, do the dishes.
He's like man of the year over here.
Now, sometimes, you know, I do get a little lazy if I do a bunch of cooking.
Yeah.
And sometimes if I'm tired because I've been cooked so much stuff and I have the dishes, because I do like to clean up as I go.
Me too, I try.
But a lot of times if I'm like if I gotta cook the food and go deliver the food, and by the time I get back, a lot of times my wife and them took care of it for me. So when I get back, she say you good.
Yeah.
So.
My boyfriend always does the dishes too. When you come back to like an empty sink, you're like, oh God, God praise you.
Most definitely.
Sour candy or chocolate?
Sour candy. Sour
what's your go-to?
Sour Patches.
The extremes or just the regular?
Both of them.
Oh, the extremes. the oversized ones, the large
like the
ones.
little
Have you tried the large ones though?
I have. They're
You
okay.
like
I just like because what I do is when I have the little, I buy a big bag of the small,
Yeah.
the little, and I throw a bunch of them in my mouth. I just sit there, you know. So,
Have you ever tried to put them in the freezer?
No.
They're actually pretty good.
No. I just, man, look, I can keep a bag of them in the house, in the car.
Me
I'll
too.
keep them in the console of the truck, pick them up, pop, fill them out, and keep it going, you know.
Yeah, in my house we're like sour candy junkies.
I love the Sour Patches, you know. I love them. I love them. When I got them, I fell in love with them. I haven't been the same since. I haven't been the same. I mean, I love those. You know, that's like my favorite. That is my favorite candy.
Same.
You know.
Same. I love that shit. Okay, so tell everybody if they want plates, if they want you to cater something, where can they find you at?
Right now, you want to hit me up on Instagram, Fattboy Catering.
Just like it sounds.
Just like it sounds. Fatt, 2 T's, Fattboy Catering. I mean, that's the only thing I'm going through right now. You DM me, you let me know, you give me a 24-hour notice, or if you want lunch for that date, you at least call me first thing that morning, because I do like to cook everything fresh when I do seafood. I like fresh seafood, so I have to make sure I catch my seafood place that I deal with.
Yeah.
I have to make sure they're open and stuff like that.
So you want to shout them out at all?
Oh yeah, Kazuma over in Edmonds.
Okay.
Edmonds, I think I'm saying the name right.
Edmonds.
Kazuma.
Yeah, well,
Kazuma.
we both
I think I'm saying it right. Yeah,
sounds right to me.
It's over in Edmonds, right behind the Jack in the Box on 99. What that is, 208. It's right off of 208 and 99. It's right behind there, Kazuma.
Everybody listening probably like, oh yeah, I go there.
Oh yeah, I mean they're the best. You know?
All right, that's big.
They're the best.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you so much for inviting us into your home and just like cooking all this food. You have no idea.
Before you go, I want you to try the dip.
Oh no, we're trying all this before we go. Don't you worry. I just don't want to be smacking my lips on the podcast.
And that cake is for you. That cake is yours. So y'all enjoy yourself.
I'm on a diet, right?
Look, just eat. You know, you on a diet?
He's never on a diet.
He can knock it loose.
Will's behind the camera right now. He never has to worry about weight.
Just some milk. Just get some milk. Well, with this, you might want to get you, if you drink tequila, whatever you eat with, whatever you drink with your tequila.
Hey. The cake will be enough. I will eat the shit out of that. All of this.
But I'm letting you take everything with you. Whatever you can take it with you. I cooked this for you.
Thank you.
For you. And I knew you had your husband, your old man, whatever you want to call him. I knew y'all was a team. You know, I knew y'all rocked together. So I had to make sure I do enough for y'all.
Well, we appreciate you.
Right,
for real. It's
I
can't wait to put this all over Instagram and all that. And
most definitely.
And yeah, hit them up. I mean, try it out. Fattboy Catering is the word.
I won't let you down. I won't let you down. And if you need to get in, if you don't want to go on there, because a lot of people don't have Instagram.
Yeah. So
you can hit my phone line 404-573-8401. Yeah. Say that again, 404-573-8401.
You heard it. You heard it here first.
You know, holla at me.
All right, we'll be back next time. Peace.
Peace.